Alola trainers, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 of the best cards that a beginning trainer can add to their deck. Now I'm not going to be talking about EXs, GXs, or breaks. I just want cards with a high pull rate that are cheap that anyone can get their hands on. So without further ado, let's get started. At number 5, we have Jirachi. Now Jirachi is known as the Wish Pokemon, and it honestly wishes that you would just die. This card is from the Roaring Skies expansion, and it is a Steel type. It has 2 attacks, one of them being Diminutive Desire and one of them being Doom Desire. Now Doom Desire is very diabolical. For 2 energies, you can knock out the opposing Pokemon on the player's next turn. That is if they do not retreat. Now for Diminutive Desire, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck and choose one to add to your hand for 1 energy. Jirachi is a very good Pokemon to have in your deck, and I honestly would recommend it for any Steel type deck just for a basic to put out if you don't have anything else. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we have Fearow. Fun fact, Fearow is my favorite flying type of Gen 1, and this card comes from the Sun and Moon expansion. It has 2 attacks, both take 1 energy, one of them being Devastating Wind and the other one being Slashing Strike. Now Slashing Strike does 60 damage, but you can't use that attack the next turn, which is pretty good for a second evolution for 1 energy. And then Devastating Wind causes the opponent to shuffle their hand into their deck and draw 3 cards. This can be a great strategy to use if your opponent has a ton of cards in their hand. So I definitely recommend Fearow for any deck you want to add some normal types into. For number 3, we have Aromatisse. Now Aromatisse is one of my favorite fairy types, and it's all because of this card right here. It comes from the Breakthrough expansion, and it has 2 attacks. They have Heavy Perfume and Hug. Now Heavy Perfume is crazy effective. It causes your opponent to be confused, and instead of taking 3 damage counters when it hurts itself, it takes 6 instead. This can easily knock out a weaker Pokemon. And if that doesn't work, you always have Hug. It only does 30, but it makes sure that your opponent can't retreat to heal itself of confusion. I absolutely love adding Aromatisse to any of my fairy decks. Coming in at number 2 is Cinccino. Now I'm talking about the card from Crimson Invasion. You know, the one that's really mean? It has 1 attack and it's called Amazing Plea. You get to choose 2 cards from your discard pile. If your opponent says yes, you get to keep them and put them in your hand, but if they say no, you do 80 damage. Now, I've added this card to almost every deck recently. I've fallen in love with it, and it's just so mean, so very mean, and Cinccino is just the cutest anyway, so I recommend giving it a shot. And the number 1 spot goes to Talonflame. I really love Talonflame as a Pokemon, and I especially love the normal type Talonflame from the Steam Siege expansion. It has a wonderful ability, Gale Wings. This lets you place it as your active Pokemon on your first turn without even evolving it. And it has an attack called Arrow Blitz that does 40 damage, and you get to search for 2 cards in your deck and add them to your hand. This Pokemon has really helped me a lot. In fact, every time I've played this Talonflame on my first turn, I've won the game. So I definitely recommend giving it a shot. It would fit into any deck, and I just really love it. Talonflame really does deserve the number 1 spot on our list. And there you guys have it. Those are the 5 best non-EX, non-GX cards that any beginner can add to their deck. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'd love to make a ton more of them, and I will see you all next time. Until then, trainers, Alola!